everyone. I'm Dolores Greenwald. I'm the Executive Director of the Williamson County Public Library. And I am so pleased to have some very special guests with me today. And we're going to be celebrating kind of quarantine style the 4th of July. So let me introduce to you Sarah Ford. She's the Regent of the Old Glory chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Thank you, Sarah, for joining us today.
Thanks, Dolores. Thanks for having us here in this unprecedented time.
Absolutely.
As you know, the Old Glory chapter has been here in Franklin since 1897, serving this city, the city of Franklin and Williamson County in our community since that time through projects involved with historic preservation, education, and patriotism. And some of the things we have done in the community, just to list a few, we have been involved in cemetery restoration and gravestone restoration, and we have put flags in most of the schools in Williamson County and pictures of George Washington. And then we are active with our patriotism. We are active, our active military and veterans. We do several projects for them and with them throughout the year.
One of the things that you do for the vets, I think is great, is the mats for the homeless vets.
Yes.
That's great.
One of our committees, they are taking old or used plastic grocery bags that you get in the store and weaving those into mats for some of our military.
So what are we going to be doing today and seeing today?
Well, what I'd like to mention is that July 4th marks our nation's independence from the British. And in a few years, we're going to celebrate our nation's 250th anniversary. We're a young nation and we are still struggling. But one thing is for sure, wherever your forefathers came from or how we all got here, they fought for freedoms that were and even still today are not allowed in many places on earth. Our ancestors, our relatives, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers continue to fight and protect with their lives our independence and our freedoms that we all enjoy and value today. Old Glory usually reads the Declaration of Independence on the Franklin Square during their festival, Franklin on the 4th, on their community-wide event. But because of the pandemic, we have partnered with the library and the Williamson County library system are allowing us to do this historic day with you. So thank you again, Dolores and the Williamson County Library System for allowing us to share this historic day. God bless America.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Madams Regent and Vice Regent. My name is Kathy Boyd, and I've been a member of Old Glory since 2016. Following me will be my Old Glory sisters, Joy Graham, Christi Malone, and Jenny Housley, who will join me in reading excerpts from the Declaration of Independence. Let us begin. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous Declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitles them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and assumptions pursuing invariably the same object evidences a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferances of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injustices, injuries and usurpations, and having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
At this point in the Declaration, our founders listed more than 25 grievances which they believed to be tyrannically imposed upon the colonies. We have chosen not to read them all at this time due to time constraints. To continue, in every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions from our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and our settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must, therefore, acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. So although this Second Continental Congress met to decree freedom on July 2nd of 1776, no one actually signed the Declaration of Independence. Congress did sign the Lee Resolution named for a Virginian, Richard Henry Lee, on July 2nd. This resolution contained 3 parts: separation from the British Crown, a call to form foreign alliances, and a plan for Confederation. Congress formally adopted the Declaration of Independence 2 days later, July 4th, 1776. And the alarm for freedom was sounded at Independence Hall when they rang the Liberty Bell. Americans rejoiced as word spread throughout the newly declared delegates of the Continental Congress had not yet inked their signatures onto the document until August 2nd, 1776. When most delegates signed the Declaration of Independence, it then became official.
Thank you for joining Old Glory and our friends at the Williamson County Public Library for this presentation. We hope you've enjoyed your time with us and that you're anticipating a wonderful Independence Day celebration.